Nikola Jokic has claimed the NBA MVP award in 3 of the last 4 seasons, a testament to his unmatched brilliance on the offensive end. Jokic's game redefines what's possible on the court, blending versatility with an unprecedented level of skill. His impact shines through in every stat from traditional ones like points, rebounds, assists, and field goal percentage, or advanced metrics like value over replacement player, effective field goal percentage, and offensive win shares. Across the board, his numbers pushed historical boundaries, showcasing a unique mastery rarely seen in the NBA's history. Today's NBA, a good big man is defined by 2 critical abilities: protecting the rim and switching effectively onto smaller guards. Stars like Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Davis embody these qualities, making them some of the most respected defensive big men in the league. Meanwhile, Nikola Jokic is often labeled a below-average defender. Today, we'll break down last season's defensive stats to see if Jokic's defense truly lags or if there's more to the story. We are about to dive into 3 advanced defensive metrics: defensive rating, defensive win shares, and defensive box plus minus, to reveal Nikola Jokic's brilliance on the defensive end. First, we'll examine the defensive ratings for players who logged over 1,500 minutes. As you see in this graph, last season, the Joker ranks 3rd place in defensive rating with a rating of 108. To put this in perspective, we'll compare Jokic's rating with other great defensive big men like Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. When we review defensive ratings over the past 4 years, we see that Jokic's rating consistently sits below the NBA average. However, it remains slightly higher than those of these 3 top defenders. It's essential to note that defensive rating can be influenced by a player's teammates. To get a clearer picture, we'll compare Jokic's rating to that of his top defensive teammates from last season on the Denver Nuggets: Peyton Watson, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Aaron Gordon. The Joker recorded a lower defensive rating than these 3 players, indicating his strong individual impact. Next, we'll look at defensive win shares for players with over 1,500 minutes last season. As shown, the Joker ranks 2nd only to Rudy Gobert, with a defensive win share of 5.1. To further understand Jokic's defensive contributions, let's compare him to 3 renowned defensive players: Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. Jokic's 4-year average score places him just behind the Stifle Tower and significantly above the league average of 2.09. Based on this, Jokic's defensive contributions are substantial enough to add roughly 2 extra wins to his team over the season. According to Basketball Reference, the formula for defensive win shares is this: defensive win share is marginal defense divided by marginal points per win. As the formula suggests, when the defensive rating is low, naturally your defensive win share becomes a large number. However, while defensive rating plays a role in defensive win share, several other factors also contribute in formulating the defensive win share, suggesting that a low defensive rating and defensive win share is not always proportional. Lastly, let's look at defensive box plus minus for players who played over 1,500 minutes. While defensive box plus minus can capture elements like positioning, communication, or defensive awareness, it's still a valuable metric. As with other defensive stats, the league's best defenders usually rank near the top in defensive box plus minus. And the Joker tops this list with 4.2, showcasing his consistent defensive impact. When compared to the same 3 defensive stars, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid, Jokic's defensive box plus minus has been dominant, outperforming them over the last 4 seasons. Jokic's 4-season defensive box plus minus average of 4.05 is notably high, especially considering the league average is 0. The final metric we'll review is average defensive rebounds per game and rebound ratios. As we know, defensive rebound is crucial as it ends an opponent's possession and limits second chance points. underscoring Jokic's effectiveness in this role. Players in the first quadrant of this graph are classified as Tier 1, or great defensive rebounders. The Joker sits firmly among the top in this group, demonstrating his prowess in securing defensive rebounds. Despite not having exceptional leaping ability or lateral quickness, Jokic's basketball IQ and deep understanding of the game make him at least an above-average defender, especially in structured set defenses. His positioning, anticipation, and awareness allow him to make impactful plays without relying on pure athleticism. In our next section, we'll try to explore how the Joker uses these skills to his advantage, focusing on his knack for deflecting passes and providing help defense in the pick-and-roll game. But meanwhile, stay tuned in for more NBA analysis at NBA RTV.